Today we are learning about multiplying and dividing rational expressions. I know I've got this when I can multiply and divide rational expressions. So when we multiply the numerators and the denominators. All right, so what you're gonna wanna do, you can multiply everything first and then simplify, or you can simplify and then multiply. I actually prefer to simplify first because you end up dealing with smaller numbers. So if I have 6x squared over 10x cubed times 5x over 12, I can simplify some of this, okay? So the 6 can go into the 6 one time and 12 two times. The 5 can go into the 5 one time and into the 10 two times. Now, I'm just going to simplify the numbers at first, the coefficients, because I want you to see something about the variables. If you start crossing out all the variables, it can get hard to tell how many you actually have left. So if I multiply everything across, I have 3 x's. 2 times 2 is 4, and I have 3 x's on the bottom. So if I cancel those out, what's assumed to be in front of this x cubed? A 1, right? So if I cross out the x cubes, I'm just left with 1/4. 1b. All right, we're going to do this one together. So in the numerator up here, you have m minus n squared, which means that you have 2 of those. M plus n on the bottom times m over. Now let's factor the second denominator. I have an m that I can factor out as the greatest common factor, and I'd be left with m minus n. Well, if I simplify, I would be left with my m minus n's would cancel each other out, right? And I would just have 1 left. So I would have 1 left because I had 2. So if I do that, I have 1. These m's would cancel each other out. So I'd be left with m minus n over m plus n. And I cannot simplify that because those are different. And that's my final answer. All right, you're going to try one. So you should have gotten x times x plus 2 over x minus 3 times x minus 1. So you can see in my first step right here with all the blue writing, I have factored out each numerator and denominator, and then I've simplified. So you can simplify either vertically or diagonally, but you never simplify horizontally, you always multiply horizontally. Multiplying rational expressions. Completely factor each numerator and denominator like we did in the last one, then multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators with each other. Simplify or write the product in lowest terms by dividing out common factors. Now, if you're dividing, remember you keep change flip, so you keep the first fraction the same, then you flip the second one, and then you multiply. All right, number 2, we are going to be dividing. So I'm going to rewrite this. 5x cubed over x squared times, I'm going to flip that, multiply by the reciprocal, 3x4 over 10x. Now remember in the other one we did, I simplified the numbers, the coefficients first, and then I multiplied everything else. So I'm going to have x to the 7th, 3x to the 7th over 2x cubed. So when I simplify that, I would have 3 over 2, and I have 4 more x's in the numerator than the denominator, and that is as far as I can go. Okay, 2b, same kind of thing. So I'm actually going to write this out twice. You don't have to, but I just want to show you what it looks like. Over 5, and then times, multiply by the reciprocal, so 25 over 5. X plus 15, I can factor the 5 out like that. Okay, so now I'm going to simplify, so I can cross out this x plus 3 with this x plus 3. I can cross out this 5 with this 25. So I would write a 5 there. And then again, this 5, I can cross out with this 5. See, there's a lot of crossing out that can get really confusing if you're not careful with how you're writing it. The only thing left in the numerator is the x plus 3, and everything in the denominator has canceled out. So x plus 3 is my final answer. Okay, let's try this one together before you do one on your own. All right, so I am going to factor the x squared minus 2x minus 3. So I'm going to say x minus 3 times x plus 1 over, this is a perfect square, so that would be x minus 2 times x plus 2 times x plus 5 over x plus 1. Now I'm going to cancel out, so I can simplify this x plus 1 with this x plus 1. Can I do anything else? No, I can't. Sometimes you can't do that much. So you would write your answer as x minus 3 times x plus 5 over x minus 2 times x plus 2. You do not have to go back and multiply all that stuff again. Just leave it like that, and that's good. All right, you go ahead and try this one. And you should get x minus 1 over x plus 3. So let me know if you're having trouble with that. Here are some extra practice problems. Now, I do want to bring to your attention, before you start on number 3B, what do you think you're going to have to do first? Pull out the GCF. So in both numerators, you could factor out a 2, actually in that denominator also. So go ahead and pause it and try these. And your answers are below. Okay, so I know I've got this when I can multiply rational expressions and divide rational expressions. Do you really understand? So what are the first 2 steps in finding the quotient of 2 rational expressions? What are the first 2 steps in dividing, basically? Rewrite the problem as a product of the first rational expression and the reciprocal of the second rational expression. So keep, change, flip. Then factor any factorable numerators and denominators completely. Those are the first 2 steps.